Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a really good card that I've made for my best friend up in Queensland. Her name's Ingrid. So this one's for you, Ingrid, if you're watching. It's actually quite a very simple card, and I've used the awesome Stamparatus this time around too. So if you can see, this is stamped on 3 different layers. And I love the embossing on this. Just really sets it up. This is the Twinkle Twinkle Designer Series paper, and it's all in Pool Party and Whisper White. So there's not much to it. I've used the Beautiful Day stamp set and also the Enjoy Life because I liked the Miss You in this set. We have the Decorative Ribbon Border Punch. I'm using Versamark and the Embossing Buddy, as well as the heat tool for the embossing. And like I said before, I've also used the Stamparatus, so I'll show you that as we go. So bringing the supplies in, all the supplies are listed on my blog, and you can find that in the description of this video. There is also a link to my online store where you can purchase all your Stampin' Up supplies. If you order through me, please use that Hostess code for the month and I'll send you out a free gift. So we have the Pool Party card base, which I'm just going to fold and burnish with my bone tool. And then what we're going to do first is I want to place this down onto my card base, but before I do that I have to put my linen thread around the Designer Series paper. So I'm just going to bring that out. That's all twisted, so I'll just take that kink out with my bone folder. And I'm just going to place that around the back. And this can be a little tricky, especially when I'm on camera, so bear with me everyone. So I'm going to tie a knot here at the side. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and I'm going to tie a bow. I find if you tie bows upside down, they just turn out that little bit better. Well, for me anyway. Tying bows is not the easiest thing to do. Okay. There we go. I can cut the excess linen thread off. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to glue this straight down to my card base. So using my Tombow Mono Multi, actually what I might use is my tear and tape, just to make sure that that sits down properly. There we go. Take the backing off and I can stick that straight down. Now I only want to leave a little bit down the bottom, so we have plenty of room for the flower up the top here. So placing that down around about there. That's really good. Just fussing with that bow just a little bit more. I can cut those off in a minute. Now the next thing is I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus in. And I've already lined up my flower, so I'm going to place my card straight in, and that's going to stamp right where I want it. So I'm going to bring the embossing body in first and just hit that to get rid of any excess static. So pushing that to the corner, I'm going to ink up with the Versamark. Stamp. So I better get my magnets out from the back just to make sure it doesn't move. There we go. Just placing that down, pressing down. There we have it. I'm going to bring my silver embossing powder in. Knocking off any excess powder at the back. There's a bit there. Okay, so I'm going to bring my heat tool in. And heat this up, and I'll be back in a minute. So that one's been done, and you can see it's sort of missing a little bit down here, but it doesn't matter because our next piece is going to cover that up. So I'm going to bring the Stamparatus back in, and I have a piece of Whisper White which is going to go along here like this. And what I've done is I've worked out that if I put it just under the second hinge here, that's where I want it to be. So I'm going to bring in the embossing buddy again. Also, because this is going to stamp out and around, I don't want it to stamp on this my pad, so I'm going to take it out again. Stick my piece of cardstock down, placing this down where I want it on the second hinge, and then I can ink with Versamark up that flower stamp again, making sure I've got good even coverage there. Then I'm going to place this down, pressing down as well. Beautiful. So we don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to place this out of the road. Bringing the silver embossing powder back in. Okay, I'm going to heat this up and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so that one's done. Now we're going to bring in my mat again because I want to stamp the Miss You. So I've had my fingers all over it, so I'm going to place some embossing buddy down again, bringing in the Miss You stamp that's from the Enjoy Life. I'm just going to stamp that down the bottom there, just like that. Once again, bringing the embossing powder back in. Heat that up and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so that's all beautifully embossed and that'll stick down perfectly. So now we're going to do the little scallop border here, and I have a piece of Pool Party cardstock that I'm just going to put through the decorative ribbon border punch, and that makes it two different ways you can use this punch, which is really handy. You can choose which one you feel works better with the project. So it has a decorative ribbon here or just the scallops there. So we're just going to use the scallops. And it doesn't use that much, it cuts cuts it off, so you don't need a big bit like that. It's just easier to put it through the punch if you've got a bigger bit. So I'm going to run a little bit of glue along the bottom of the sentiment there. So just like that. Then I'm going to line it up so you can't see those little holes just above the scallops. Trim the edges off. I purposely make it a little bit longer than you need because you can always trim, but it's hard if it's not long enough, it'll look funny. So there's that. So we're going to pop this up on some dimensionals, and I just want to make sure I know whereabouts that all goes together before I put the dimensionals down, so that fits perfectly there like that. So it's right up along that border. So dimensional in each corner, and I'm going to put one in the middle just for extra stability. And line that back up again. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in some dimensionals, and I'm going to stick, what have I got, medium sort of size and a small one up top. Then I've got a larger one for just there. So once again, put your embellishments in a triangular fashion. So all that's left is I'm just going to cut these little tails off a little. So you can see this one's right along the bottom, but it all depends on where this lines up. It is a really good card. Oh, out of focus there a little. What do you think? I hope you like it, Ingrid. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.